Those that can demonstrate leadership and really push the needle can be the ones that really tell the story of how we change.
Let's talk about the real cause of climate change and let's take responsibility because it's the only way forward.
Regulatory change and consumer trends are driving sustainability across all industries. A more sustainable future is coming, and it's down to us to keep up. But what does leadership look like in this space, and how can it inspire others to follow? From managing the energy transition, to understanding demand and supply side emissions, through to taking control of your entire supply chain to tackle Scope 3. Sustainable leadership is critical to decarbonization.
Leadership now more than ever is critical, not just to set targets, it's the driving action today. Those leaders in 2024 that will then set the pace for all the companies that come after them between now and 2030 and beyond.
Larger companies, they are extremely important because they are the ones setting the tone. They have resources, they can hire people, they can train people.
We can have any number of players come up with the thing that's going to drive a sustainable future, but without big business supporting that and showing demand signal, it just may never get off the ground.
It is as simple as we want to live a better world for our children, and that is an incredible driver for change.
To create a more sustainable future, companies must look beyond addressing their Scope 1 and 2 emissions and consider Scope 3.
Scope 1 are the direct emissions that any company would emit from its own four walls or from its own enterprise operations. Scope 2 being the emissions generated indirectly from the grid. Scope 3 is essentially all of that value chain emissions that we indirectly contribute to through the purchase of goods and services.
Scope 3 is made of your upstream emission, what comes from your supplier, and your downstream Scope 3 emission, which is the impact of your business for your customer.
It is a fundamental responsibility of business to tackle the indirect emissions. These represent, on average, 70% of the emissions of a company. It can be to 95%.
Addressing Scope 3 presents some unique challenges.
You are dealing with thousands and thousands of suppliers, usually as a large company.
Small companies have challenges because they don't have the knowledge, the skills, or the means to do it.
Schneider Electric operates many decarbonization programs for suppliers across different sectors. One example is Energize.
You are in the pharma industry and you have a company all together that realize that they have to tackle their Scope 3 emission. They come to us and they say, can you help us to build a program? That's what we call Energize.
Energize is designed to bring access to free education around the procurement of renewable energy to our supply base. There are currently 19 pharmaceutical companies that have partnered together to bring the adoption of renewable energy at scale to our respective supply chains.
The biggest benefit is they're all using the same supplier, so it has an impact, of course, which is exponential when you succeed to reduce their Scope 3 emission.
The key to enabling this decarbonization process across entire value chains is data.
You can't manage what you don't measure, and so data is critical to that piece.
So being more sustainable is about being more electric and more digital. Why more digital? Because it's about making the invisible visible. It's about understanding where are your CO2 emissions. And we have that digital platform that we call EcoStruxure Resource Advisor to track and monitor all your CO2 emissions and work on it and be able to reduce it. We have launched this year Zygo Activate, which is a very, very simple automated solution to act on it and reduce quickly their CO2 emission.
So it has an incredible benefit for your bottom line because you can manage what you can measure so that you can take business decisions, and also your consumers, your employees, and society in general can transparently see the progress that you're making.
A business that's run efficiently is going to typically perform more optimally. Sustainability is a fundamental competitive advantage to any business that fully takes it on.
Your shareholder wants to invest in companies which are more sustainable and which have a positive impact on the future. You are a supplier of a customer who wants also to go through their decarbonization journey. Every single employee in the company, they want to work for a company who has a positive impact in the future. So you can take any kind of stakeholder in your ecosystem, they all want to be part of that journey. And as a company, if you take the lead to go for it, you will have a full support definitely for your entire ecosystem.
Never before have we had an opportunity across industry, quite frankly, to cooperate in such a common cause as is climate change.
What I am really afraid of is inaction. And I need to give my best. And if I don't give my best with a smile, I will regret all my life.
If there was ever a cause, this is the one to work together in a very new and collaborative way to deliver a more sustainable future.